It's time for students to finish the unit challenge to propose sustainable transportation solutions with our culminating experience. Check out the PDF Culminating Experience Teacher Guide in Lesson 5.21. Now, it's an online-only exclusive. It's not in the printed teacher guide. And we'll walk you through some of the pieces right now. It's got thought starters if students are struggling with ideas for making transportation more sustainable, example student work, which in this case is the full proposal text, and our detailed rubric with categories for each of the 3 NGSS dimensions. Here's the short summary of the project. We want students to combine their understanding of the science of energy with local actions to improve one subsystem of transportation. Here are some successful projects from previous years, like the Junk in the Trunk cleanup project, where students realized that kinetic energy depends on mass, so they planned a public awareness campaign to get parents to clean out excess junk from their car to reduce the mass so that it used less energy. Or the Everybody in the Pool project, where students mapped out the homes of all the kids in the school to help arrange carpools, because they knew that vehicle efficiency could be measured per passenger mile. Or the Check Your Air Pressure Month, where students used their understanding of friction to call on city leaders to start a citywide campaign to promote tire pressure checkups. Students work in teams to produce a written proposal with 5 parts. The centerpiece is a claim, evidence, reasoning style argument that their solution is a good strategy. They then prepare a 2 to 3 minute oral presentation that focuses on 3 of those parts. Let's look at how we make that happen day by day. In Lesson 5.21, we revisit our definition of sustainable transportation. As we walk through the unit roadmap, do students understand what that idea really means more than they did on day 1? We introduce the Transportation Project Requirements handout and the grading rubric. To help students brainstorm ideas, we pass out the Thought Starters handout with 24 successful ideas that students have completed in the past. Students will end the day with a location where they want to focus and a starting point for how they can make transportation at that location more sustainable. In Lesson 5.22, students get time to research. Since transportation systems are complex, they'll need to focus on one subsystem. By the end of today, students need to have defined their problem and come up with a basic idea about the solution. They'll report all those pieces on today's exit ticket: their project location, who benefits from the project, what specific user needs they have, what they're proposing, and how the changes make the system more efficient and more sustainable. Students share out their exit tickets at the beginning of Lesson 23 in a class progress check-in. But then they get the remainder of the class to do research to help them refine their solution. They should document what they learn, including citing their sources and images. In Lesson 5.24, we introduce the Transportation Project CER handout. Students will use information on this handout to write their conclusions section of their proposal. By the end of class, students should have most of the written proposal done. In Lesson 25, students review the Transport Project Requirements again, paying special attention to the 5 section headings. Then, students participate in a discussion about giving effective oral presentations. Finally, students spend the remainder of the class preparing their presentation. We break the class in half during Lessons 26 and 27, with half of them presenting on one day and half presenting on the other. Students that are not presenting will take notes and evaluate their peer solutions and designs with 4 columns: proposed solution, evidence, reasoning, and comments. In Lesson 28, finish up any presentations that aren't done yet, and then it's time to move on to a review of the entire unit together as a class. One way to facilitate this discussion is to place all the science concepts like friction, kinetic energy, and unbalanced forces as headings around the room. Then ask students to sort the different student projects based on which concepts they utilized. In Lesson 5.29, we continue the class analysis of our student solutions. What similarities and differences did students notice about the solutions? Which pieces of evidence were most powerful? Then, students reflect on what and how they learned as they watch a clip from the 1939 World's Fair newsreel. How do they see it differently than the first day? Then, students complete the unit post-assessment. And finally, if time allows, students participate in a fun activity where they work in teams to answer questions about forces and motion. The winning team can earn a prize. Now that students have made transportation more efficient, it's time to take on the rest of the energy system in Unit 6, Future Energy. So join me and follow the flow.